What you told me once was that your conscience was pricked a bit when you were preparing foods that you felt were causing people harm.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of their health.
Yeah.
That you, within yourself, felt a desire to prepare foods which were not only good tasting and good looking, but which actually help people to get better or to stay better.
Exactly. It's basically like doctors saving in the ER somebody's life. The same for me, you know, because slowly with whatever food I put on a plate, if it's, for example, high fatty, lots of cholesterol, someday that person will have a disease. And it's basically going to be on my hands because I prepared that, you know. So,
Doctor, tell me what you think about this conversation.
Well, I think it's very interesting. Many years ago, there was a physician who said, "Let food be your medicine, and let your medicine be food." Many of the diseases that we suffer from today in America are from bad food, either the wrong food or foods that started out right but have lost so much nutrition by the time they get to our plates that they're not as healthful for us. Many people don't realize that if you take a vegetable, say you take spinach, and you harvest it a long ways from Maine, and by the time it gets here, a few days have gone by, that within those few days, over a third of the vitamin C has dissipated from that spinach. And up to 60% of the beta carotene within the first 4 to 5 days is no longer present. It's deteriorated in the spinach. So this lovely leaf, fresh looking spinach that you're consuming and you feel so good about has lost much of its nutrition by the time it gets to your plate. Whereas if it was grown locally, picked, and made it to your plate within a day or two at the most, it's much better for you. And you say, well, you can't grow spinach in the winter here in Maine. Well, actually you can. Elliot Coleman does it up on Cape Rosier in Maine all through the winter in unheated greenhouses. Maine gets a lot of sunshine, and it's amazing what you can do with leaf vegetables through the winter here in Maine. And the nutritional quality of that food is much, much higher. Of course, we have the whole issue of our food and global warming. What are we doing with energy? If you grow the food 2,000 miles away and truck it here, a lot more energy expenditure takes place than if it's grown locally, and you get it at a higher nutritional quality quicker. We don't stop and think about these issues, and I'm very glad that Oleg's come to Parkview and that we've switched over there to locally grown, organic whenever possible, because the food itself tastes better. Yeah. I have a garden at home. My wife and I and her father-in-law grow a garden every year. It's an organic garden. And I'll tell you, when you take a tomato fresh out of the garden, it's a wholly different fruit than if you get it off the shelf at your grocery store. Now, I'm glad for grocery stores. I'm glad for all the local ones. They're wonderful, and I go there. You'll see me there. But I'll tell you, a fresh tomato out of your garden is completely different in flavor and nutritional quality. And anything that we can do institutionally or personally to switch toward local food grown in our own backyards, or if we don't have a backyard, down the street at the local farmer, I think is excellent. Even our President Obama is going to have a garden this year. He says there are going to be, or his wife says there will be over 50 varieties of food there. And she's even said that the president's going to have to do some weeding, which I'm all in favor of.
A little exercise.
A little exercise, that's a good thing.
So the concept of eating locally is certainly taken off in this country, I think particularly in Maine. the energy impact, the environmental impact, but there's a healthful benefit as well in terms of the nutritional value of food when it's picked closer to home and picked riper.
The nutritional quality of the food is much higher when it's picked at peak ripeness. The flavor's better, but the quality is better, and if you move it from plant to plate more rapidly, you get a much better quality. You get all of the nutrition there instead of just a part of it. The next best thing you can do actually is probably buy it frozen, your vegetables frozen, because they flash freeze them right there in the field, and they actually keep their nutritional quality better than some of the fresh things, and the price is lower. But the best is always local grown, short time from plant to plate.
So generally fresh is best,
Yeah.
but if we can't do local fresh, then frozen would be a good option, or something for us to think about. Canned and packaged are generally the last choices.
One of the problems with our canned produce is all of our cans are lined with plastic, and that plastic contains bisphenol A. Bisphenol A is a compound that's used in Lexan. It's used in many plastics, and it is implicated as of last year in a study by Lang in not only diabetes but also heart disease. So again, the less problems with the less exposure we have to some of these industrial chemicals, the more organic we go, the better. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that organic is important, but the most important is to eat those fruits and vegetables and grains and stay away from eating something that ate something that ate something, and you concentrate the toxins up the line. You know, if it looks really good and healthy, it's going to be a lot better for you than something that ate something all the way up. But organic is still the best with a quick time from plant to plate.
Gotcha.